Hello everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I have a fun layout to share with you today. The Inspiration Collaboration Design Team is celebrating Christmas in July, and I'm going to create a layout using the Season of Green and Gold Suite collection. And stay tuned, at the end of this video I'll have a card inspired by that layout. So these papers, they're just gorgeous. I don't think the camera really picks up how pretty they are in real life. They have gold foiling everywhere. And then I love these accessories. These are the cherry cobbler and pearls. And then the stamp sets I'm going to use are also part of the collection. I have Greetings of the Season and Golden Greenery, along with the coordinating dies. The pictures that I'm going to scrapbook are of my dogs. Again, this is the Christmas pictures. Our groomer likes to take portraits of the dogs after she's done grooming, and then she puts really cool photo backdrops around them. So these were their Christmas pictures, and I've yet to scrapbook them, so this is the perfect time. So I'm just playing around with these and deciding what to back these pictures up with, and what's going to surround the photos. And I'm just kind of looking, I keep gravitating towards the plaid. And then I brought in some this is the old New England ivy from Close to My Heart. It's very close to Mossy Meadow. And I'm thinking I want to create a giant circle. So I'm liking a mat of New England ivy along with the plaid. Okay, so we'll bring this plaid in. And I'm going to bring in, this is an old tool. It's a Martha Stewart circle cutter. And I'm going to cut a circle that is 10.5 inches. I want to get the largest circle that I can cut. And I've done this before. I've placed the center in the wrong position, and then part of the cut goes off the edge. So I just want to be super careful. So I'm just carefully tracing around, making sure that I'll make it without cutting over the edge. And I'm using the dimensions on my Versamat to find the 6 mark vertically and horizontally. And then deep breath, and we're going to do this. We're going to go ahead and start pressing that blade in and tracing around to cut our circle. And yay, it worked. Applause. So I'm always nervous about getting that circle cut, but it works. So just be very careful and take it slow. Okay, so I haven't decided yet if I want to use mocha or New England ivy for my background. Okay, so some of the pattern paper has a little bit of, let's see, it's pecan pie, I believe, but the closest color that I see in the pattern is mocha. So I haven't decided yet, so I'm just going to lay out on each side and make up my mind later on. Got to see it sometimes before you can decide. So I want this circle to be offset. I want part of it to be on the left page and part of it to be on the right page. So I'm just eyeballing it, and fortunately with this plaid pattern, I can cut my straight lines. So yeah, I don't know exactly what the dimensions are. It's about 3/4 on one side and 1/4 on the other, but that's how I want it. And roughly that's going to be where my photos are going to land. Okay, so now I want to bring in some of these other patterned papers, and I'm just kind of looking and trying them out to see what I like. And I love this gold. It's on gold on very vanilla. It's really pretty, but I'm not quite sure. Now I'm liking this one. Okay, and it's got little pops of gold foil. So I really like that. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to create a few banners that are going to be popping out from the bottom portion of the circle. So that's going to go on the left side, and then I've got the other portion on the right. And then I start looking at it, and I realize that my pattern is the other direction. So I'm going to see what my photos look like first. And I'm looking at this and I realize, oopsie, it should have gone the other way, the pattern. To me, it looks like that's the direction it should be, and it would just bug me if I left it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut two more pieces, and I'm going to use that leftover that's on the other side. I wanted to use a die on the edge of it anyway, so I'm going to make this work. And then I'll use those other cut pieces for another project. Okay, so I'm going to find a die here to cut a shape. I want it to stick with everything that's in the suite to create my project. So I'm going to use what I have here. And I need to find a die that's about 4 inches tall, which is the same size as the left page. I want it to look like it's going to continue underneath that circle from left to right. So this one is about 4 inches tall, and I think it's going to work. Okay, now I'm going to continue finding a couple more patterned pieces. And I like this one. It's got kind of starbursts, and I like the geometric look of it. It kind of mirrors that plaid with the lines. So I'm going to use that next. And it's going to kind of break up that busy pattern paper. So I'm going to cut 2 inches, and I'm going to wind up trimming them down and dovetailing them, so it doesn't really matter how long these pieces are. It's just how tall you want them to be. So the first one is 4 inches, so I think this one should be 2. And it's going to go there so that it looks like it's continuing the whole way across the page. Okay, now I need to pick my third pattern piece, and I like this one. Let's bring in that other one. And because I have the white background, or the very vanilla background, I decided on this other one. And that's about, I think it's a 1 1/4 inches tall. Okay, and then later on off camera, I cut a longer piece. I realized I needed a longer one to go all the way across. And then I've also cut some mats in Very Vanilla. So I've got my mats in New England Ivy and Very Vanilla. And then I've got another small piece. It's like 2 inches by 2 1/4 for that little banner area up on the left top. So it's that same starburst. So I'm going to bring in the New England Ivy for both sides to make sure that this is what I like. I think I'm going to stick with kind of a monochromatic look with the greens and the Very Vanilla. I think that's going to work. And we won't use the mocha this time around, but maybe in the future. So I'm just checking on those dies again. And I like that one, so off camera, I ran that through. Kind of a geometric look, and hopefully it looks like it's continuing from the left side to the right to poke out on that right side of the picture of Pixel. Okay, so now I'm going to dovetail these banners. So to dovetail, the easiest way that I've found is to cut vertically in the center and then go from each corner to meet that snip to cut out that triangle. So just hand trimming everything. And we'll go ahead and cut this one. Sorry, it's off camera. Same process. And just dovetailing one end. And we'll slide that under. And it's going to sit about right there. I will slide everything down a bit because I want a larger white space to be up on that upper right area. And I need some room on the left side for my title, so I'm going to slide everything down. Okay, so I'm going to bring in that same, I was trying this one and it's not going to work. And then I decided to bring in that same die that I used on the right side, and I'm just going to cut a portion. So I ran that through my die cutting machine, and the shape reflects on each side. And we'll go ahead and dovetail the left banner. And then we'll do the other one. So that's the basic base layout. And everything will sit about like that. Okay. All right, I think I like that. So off camera, I've got it all glued down, most of it. Okay. All right, so I have added foam tape to the back of each of my photos, and we'll go ahead and set this one down. And I'm using the lines on that plaid paper to kind of help me for placement. And then we'll sit this other one down. I love all these fun backgrounds that she manipulates the photo digitally and pops the dog in on whatever background she likes. These are fun. Okay, so I want this green piece to look like it's continuing all the way across and poking out from the right side. So I'm using my T-square to just kind of line everything up. And then we'll go ahead and glue that down. And then we've got our background base completed. I think that looks good. Okay. Now I can start bringing in embellishments. So I'm going to use this die from Close to My Heart. It's Merry Christmas, and it's going to be my title. So I've cut out 2 sets. I wasn't sure which combination I wanted to use. And as soon as I set down that word Christmas, I realized that my picture of Roisin was too far to the left. So I'm carefully peeling it up. And phew, I got lucky. I was able to peel it all the way up. Okay, so we need to make sure we have room for that title. And so I'm going to push that photo all the way over to the right and butt it up right against the edge there. And then I'll have room for the word Christmas. Got lucky there. So I've cut out, this is a layering die, and I've cut it out in gold glitter paper and scarlet glitter paper. And I wasn't sure which would pop better, so I did both. So I decided that I liked the gold with the red outline. And then I've cut the word Merry also in gold and in red. And the red just pops better. So I've cut 2 more layers in white, and I'm going to stack them. That word Merry, it's pretty delicate, so I want it to have a little dimension and just give it a little more strength by adding a couple more layers. Okay, I like that. And then this is a cool thing. Stampin' Up! Has dies in their die set that matches the shapes on some of their printed papers. So this one is the green and gold vellum, and then this is part of the green and gold DSP. And so I cut out a whole bunch of these images, and then I also cut some in gold foil paper. So I have a whole bunch to work with here. I cut some in vellum, I cut some from that patterned paper, the DSP, and yeah, so I have a lot to choose from, and whatever's left over I can make cards with. So that's lots of fun. So I'm going to use a sentiment from the Greetings of the Season. So I flipped my Versamat over for stamping. I'm going to use Mossy Meadow, and the sentiment that I picked is, "It's the most wonderful time of the year." So I'm going to stamp this out on Very Vanilla, and then I'll die cut it with one of the coordinating dies to create a tag. So after I stamped this, I realized that I stamped a little too low because I want my words to be up a little further, closer to the top of the tag. So I'll use that on a card. And I'm going to stamp it again. So I'm going to clean off my stamp, make sure I don't have any excess ink where I don't want it. And then I'll ink it up again and stamp it out. So this layout, it's I don't have any dog images that I'm using on the layout proper, so you could easily substitute family photos, pictures of a Christmas tree, lots of different options for this layout itself. I just happen to want to scrapbook my furry family. So okay, so I've also cut another piece from the same die in some red glitter paper because I want it to reflect on both sides, the title on the left and then that piece on the right. And then I've got some of this skinny gold and white ribbon from Close to My Heart. It's a really old retired product, but there is a similar one from Stampin' Up! Just in gold, and I'll put a link in the description below. I needed something with a skinny width, so that worked with the gold. All right, so I like the placement of that tag, I think. I'll try it in another place in a minute, but I think that's working. And we'll get the title glued down. Okay. All right, and then I've cut a portion of a tag from that same set. It's the Greetings of the Season set. And I'm not doing a ton of journaling. I'm just saying it's 2023. It was last Christmas, and it's Roisin's first Christmas. Her birthday's at the end of December. And so that was her first one. She's about 18 months now. Okay, and then the other side is just pixel and the date, or the year 2023. And I might decide to do some hidden journaling at some point to talk about how their groomer likes to do portraits. Okay, now I'm going to bring in this greenery that I die cut and just going to arrange a whole bunch of it. There's lots to choose from, and then I've also got the gold foil sprigs cut as well. And I'm going to mix in the vellum along with the other papers and just create clusters of these various pine boughs and mistletoe and other Christmas greenery. And just overlap everything. And on that top left corner, I'm not too worried about how it's overlapping because I'm going to use some of those cherry cobbler pearls. Okay, so this is where I'm kind of moving that tag around. And nope, it was my first instinct. That was where it needed to live. So that's going there, and then I'll just go ahead and start layering in some more of these sprigs. Just get some dimension and layers. And some more interest here. And I do fuss with them a bit, just kind of figure out the placement and how many. And sometimes when you hold them in your hand, it's a little bit easier before you tuck them in. And then you can decide which ones you want to use, so, and how many. I think that's going to work for that side. And then I decided to continue that cluster over on the right side of the tag. I'll tuck a couple more sprigs in there. And there's two different sizes of the gold foil, so I think that's going to work. I'll glue everything down off camera. First I'm going to trim out those, the ribbon. Okay, get all that glued down, and now it's time to add our little cherry cobbler pearls. So They come in clusters of 3, and then there's also singles. They're so pretty. Just give a pop of red. I think the shape reflects the ornaments that are around the dogs. And just add a little pop of color all around. Lots and lots. And we're going to call that good. So I'll give some close-up shots in a second. And be sure you hang in there. I've got a card to show you as well. So I've got some close-up shots and still shots to see this layout. And then I'll show you the card after these still pictures. And make sure you click on the link at the end. I'll put one in the description below so that you can see the other inspiration, collaboration, design team members' projects for Christmas in July. And we're all featuring online exclusives. They're available on my website, and I'll put links in the description below. And yeah, you can get these products on my website. So here's this card, and it reflects the same idea as the layout. So it has the tag and the greenery and then the banners poking out from the circle that's in the background there. So I've got some close-up shots here too. So, and then of course the cherry cobbler pearls added to the tag. Lots of fun. So thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. And thanks for watching.